Hey guys, in today's lesson video, let's talk about how we can increase our clubhead speed. And if you increase your clubhead speed, what you could do is, from that position, if you hit out of the center of the club face, then that's going to increase our ball speed as well. That means more total distance. So in today's lesson video, I'm going to talk about 3 things that most everyday golfers struggle with. And I'm going to show you the difference of movements, and I'm going to make 2 golf swings, both around 75%, so I'm not too biased towards one or the other movement. And I'm going to show you guys what that does to our speed and our total distance. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to hit a golf ball off of my lead foot. I'm going to hit a golf ball off my trail foot, and let's see what that does to my total distance and my clubhead speed. So the first one, I'm going to get on my right foot out first, and I'm going to hit a golf ball from this position at around 75%. So if I take a look, my clubhead speed was around 72.6 miles per hour. So I'm going to do that same golf swing, but let me do it from now my lead foot. So from this position, if I do that, make that same kind of 75 miles per hour golf swing, I'm going to get into a position where the golf ball goes a lot farther. So this one around 75 miles per hour, and my total distance was around 155 yards. So what that means is that as much as we have physical strength, if we're stuck on our back foot, we're not able to get all of our power to run into the back of the golf ball. So we want to get into our lead side. So check if you're getting into your lead side or if you're staying on your trail side. The next thing we want to talk about is, do we want to keep our wrist angles forever, or do we want to uncock and let these angles out? So the first one is, I'm going to keep my wrist angles and have a really good kind of body pivot motion. So it's going to look something like this. Try to keep the angles. And I'm going to swing this golf club around like 75%. And you can see here, this one wasn't too bad. So as you can see here, it's around 75 miles per hour and around 156 yards. Then from that position, now I'm going to let out all the angles towards impact. So all the angles I created to the top of my backswing, I'm going to let it all out. So around 75%, create the angles and let it all out. Hopefully I didn't hit too hard or anything like that. And now you can see from this position, I literally tried to swing at around the same 75 miles per hour, but you can now see that the 7-iron is going around 176 yards and my clubhead speed is nearing around 80 miles per hour. So that means that instead of holding onto the angles forever, lag is all good, but the only reason why we need lag is to create lag so we could get rid of it towards the golf ball, so we could get all of that effortless power towards the end of back of the golf ball. So what we want to do is we want to release the angles towards the golf ball. Of course, if you release the angles too early, that's casting, but we want to release the angles towards the golf ball, and that's going to really help us create that effortless clubhead speed. So the last one is, do we want a square club face to a slightly open club face or a slightly shut club face at impact? And I guarantee you, if you get into a position where you're slightly shutting the club face through impact, we're going to get into a much better position. So what you want to do is top of my backswing, I'm going to hit a golf shot. And this one's going to be neutral to slightly open. And you can see that my clubhead speed is still around 80 miles per hour, but my facing path is slightly open, so that means less distance. So from this position, let me do that same motion, but let me feel like I'm getting my club face to be slightly shut. So it's going to be slightly shut relative to my path. And let's see how far this one goes. So this one, face to path is a little bit shut, maybe a little bit too much for my liking, but it is -6. And you can see that my clubhead speed went up, and also my total distance went up to around 185 yards. So what we want to do in today's lesson is realize that these couple things that I showed you, we want to get all of our weight into our lead side. We want to release all the angles, and we also want to have a supinated release, and that's going to really help you get into a much better position. So if I do all 3 of those at once, hopefully it's going to generate more clubhead speed. So the other one, let me try to get all my weight to stay on my backside and kind of have a kind of body-driven swing, and let's see how far that goes. So this one, not too bad, around 86 miles per hour. And you can notice that my face to path was very, very neutral. So this one was a golf swing where my club face is staying very square to my target the whole time, which most everyday golfers try to do because they don't want to hit it to the left. But now let me hit one where I'm shifting all of my weight into my lead side. I'm letting out all the angles, and I'm also having a little bit of that supinated release. So it's going to feel like my club face is slightly shutting down throughout the impact zone. And let me see how far that goes. My club speed right now is around 86 miles per hour. So now you can see with this one, with the face to path being slightly shut, now you can notice that my club head speed is almost 91 miles per hour and my total distance is around 197 yards. So it means that if you shift all your weight into your lead side and you let out all the angles, and instead of having a very squared club face, if you feel like you're slightly shutting it down, it means that we're gonna have more club head speed. So just try to implement these couple things into your golf swing. I guarantee we're gonna have more of that effortless speed and power, and we're gonna hit the golf ball a lot farther. So the last little thing I wanna talk about is that if we feel like we're shutting down the club face throughout the impact zone, I think most of you guys will understand that we're gonna have a really strong club face at impact. So yes, the golf ball will go farther, and yes, we'll have more club head speed, but how do we hit it straight? So even if we feel like we're releasing the golf club a lot throughout the impact zone, which is kind of something that I like to do because I want to be very aggressive with it. But if we stay back on our right foot, our trail foot for a right-handed golfer, and release the golf club, yes, the golf ball will hook, but if it's a big sequence issue. So if I get all of my weight into my lead side first and then release the golf club as much as possible, I guarantee we will not miss the golf ball off towards the left. So let me show you. I'm going to shift all my weight into my lead side first, and then I'm going to release the golf club as much as possible. So this one, I physically try to turn it over as much as possible, and you can see that it only creates a small little baby draw. And the reason for that being is that, of course, maybe out on the golf course, I won't be as aggressive, but for this one, I really try to turn it over as much as possible. But because I got into my lead side 100% first, and then I release the golf club, the golf ball will never hook off towards the left for a right-handed golfer. So if you guys like the lesson video, please like and subscribe to help my channel grow. And for in-person or online lessons, I'll leave all the information in the description below. Thanks, guys.